It's Friday. Where has the week gone again? It's just done a poof. Welcome, Lifestyle is Healthers, and those of you watching on YouTube, it is Coffee Time Live, and I am delighted to welcome my guest this week, the wonderful Barbara Hibbart. Hi, Barbara. How are you doing?
Hi, I'm well, thank you. Yes, the sun's been shining, so that makes it into a lovely week.
I think we've all been finding that we're all smiling a lot more and just generally feeling a little bit more relaxed, comfortable, and happy, aren't we, now the sun is out? So I want people to know what you do and where we met. So I'm going to just hand over to you. Barbara, tell people about yourself.
Okay, fair enough. Well, I'm Barbara, and I help people, particularly women, though not exclusively. For any men listening, please don't think you're unloved. I work with men as well, and I help them to build their confidence in order to succeed in whatever way that might be for them. It could be that people are, for example, returning to work after a career break, having had children. It might be they're wanting to start their own business rather than going back to what they used to do. It might be that they're wanting to pluck up the courage to tackle a difficult mother-in-law or a difficult relationship that they've sort of been avoiding. And it could be something totally different. It could be perhaps if somebody's been suffering from bereavement from COVID, for example, or perhaps they've been made redundant, or they've had some kind of illness that's really knocked their confidence. So it might be just building up their confidence to be able to go out and have fun and learn to enjoy themselves again. Because if we're feeling down and if we've been isolated and we haven't been doing what we want to do, it has such a dramatic effect on us. And the first thing that we lose is our confidence.
Absolutely. And I think that it's so relevant and so poignant for everybody right now, isn't it? Because we have had so much change over the last 18 months now. I can't believe I'm saying it's 18 months, but it is pretty much. And things have changed so much for so many people, and they're consistently changing even now. We still are in this transitional period, aren't we? And all of that stuff is going to change who we are, how we're being, the choices that we've got available to ourselves, and as you say quite rightly, knocks our confidence. So guys, if you are watching, please do participate. You can let us know who you are if you just type your name in and just say hi, it's blah blah, and we can say hello to you. If you do have any questions as we're going along, please don't hold back, feel free to answer them. So Barbara, I'm noticing that you have this amazing necklace. Now for those of you on here who know me very well, you know I love my jewellery, and the more unusual, unique, and individual, the better. And I got my eye on that. So tell me a little bit about, because this is something else that you do, isn't it?
Yes, it is. I've always loved reflections of glass. I've still got very clear memories as a child of being taken round old churches. And if you've ever been into an old church when the sun's shining, you'll know how the light comes through the stained glass windows and makes the most amazing patterns on the floor. Yeah. Well, I've got a very vivid memory of dancing round the floor, chasing the colours as they moved round. And I think that was probably my first love of glass. And relatively recently, only a few years ago, I dragged my husband to a craft fair. And as a result of it, I ended up with a workshop with a lovely lady who taught me how to play with glass. And
wonderful.
I just got hooked. And what was really weird was it wasn't that I had a jewellery workshop. It was that I was given this workshop and it turned into, it was general play with glass and make a picture. Right. And at the end of the session, which I'd loved, she said to me, well, look, there's some money left over. The next workshop is a jewellery workshop. Would you like to put it towards that? So it was really by chance that I found glass jewellery, and I'd never really thought of it as a medium. You know, we think of diamonds and gemstones and silver and gold.
Yeah, of course.
But I hadn't, and plastic and resin and all those sorts of things. But I hadn't really thought about or come across glass before. Anyway, I did a couple of workshops and I just got hooked. And either I was going to have a very full drawer of glass or a lot of relatives and friends who said thank you, sort of, for yet another piece of glass jewellery, or I had to find an outlet. So
Fabulous.
I launched myself onto the craft circuit. And you know, I've met the most amazing people. It's such fun.
I can imagine. So we have a lady who is part of our group here who knits jewellery with wire. And
Oh, wow.
yeah, and she has got some amazing pieces, and obviously, like the glass, it's everything is individual and unique, because nothing's ever going to come out the same, isn't it? It's not
That's right.
conveyor, and that's what makes it delightful. So tell me, where can I find you, and where can I buy some of your?
Well, I'm in Heathfield. If anybody fancies having a go, I run workshops. You come to me for the morning, you learn how to cut glass, and then you make a pendant and a pair of earrings, for example, or you make a picture that you hang in the window and you get the reflections coming through. If you're not into travelling around the country at the moment, I also have a Facebook page under the name of Fragments of Glass.
Oh,
and I've got an Etsy page as well under the same.
So if you leave us the links, we'll put the links above this video. So for those of you who come back in later on, the links will be there. And if you're watching on replay, the links are going to be above anyway. So tell us a little bit about what you have actually been doing in the last kind of year or so through lockdown. Have you been coaching your clients online, or have you been more busy with making your jewellery? What have you been up to? Tell us.
Well, in terms of the glass and the jewellery, it was a bit like 10 green bottles with the lights going out. 1 minute I had a programme of really exciting events to go to, and one by one, each one was cancelled during lockdown. Yeah. So I went from a full programme of events to nothing at all. And of course, I couldn't run my workshops either. No. So I did spend quite a lot of time playing and developing new techniques, developing new styles of jewellery, which was fun up to a point, but equally I wanted the outlets, as you can imagine. From the coaching point of view, I've always thought that face-to-face is best, real meetings, and that's what I'd always done up until lockdown. But I have to say, I was converted. In hindsight, I wish I'd had shares in Zoom when all this happened, because I would now be very rich. However, I discovered that Zoom is really interesting on a one-to-one basis. I can learn far more about a person than when I meet them in real life. Somehow Zoom focuses on the person. There aren't as many distractions as you'd have if you were in a room with somebody. And it's just amazing how much I can pick up in terms of body language, how people are looking, how they're feeling, etc. And so I'm a total convert.
I agree. And I think also that, and I really do believe, and I don't know whether you think this is the case too, but I think that that's got a lot to do with the fact that they are in their own environment and their own surroundings. So they're already familiar and comfortable where they're at. They've not had to travel. They've not had to worry about parking the car. They've not had to worry about getting there and being on time and all of that kind of stuff. So when you're in your own four walls and you're in your own environment, it's much easier to be relaxed and to be fully focused on what's going on, because your brain's not going to, oh, I hope I don't get a parking ticket, or what am I going to do afterwards?
Exactly. Yes.
You're already in your own home, and I think that that's actually quite a big part of it. Do you agree?
Yes, I do entirely. And I think to start with, when people were getting used to Zoom, I had some mind-numbing experiences of networking groups where there were 70 people and everybody got their 1 minute. And after about the first 4, everybody was just asleep. It was just awful. It wasn't fair on the individuals. It wasn't fair on anybody. And you could actually see people nodding off. Yeah. And I mean, I had some very interesting experiences, early on when people were getting used to Zoom. I mean, there was one in particular where this guy was actually on a mobile phone, and you actually saw him get up and walk upstairs, and he opened the door and he backed into this little room, and you actually saw him sitting on the toilet, and he just hadn't thought that everybody in this networking group could see exactly what he was doing.
Did anybody shout out and let him know, or did he just carry on watching?
Oh, it was really funny. And I think people, over a period of time, people have become experts in Zoom, and people have managed to make Zoom meetings so interesting.
Yeah.
And recently, I've been on a number where you have a variety of meetings. You might have, for example, a 30-second intro rather than a minute intro, and then have breakout rooms. And the opportunity to meet with small groups of people, I think, is really fun.
Yeah.
And having a one-to-one with somebody for a short period of time. We actually met on Peppercorn, and Peppercorn is really interesting. If you haven't come across it, it's something, it's speed networking, and you get 4 minutes to speak to somebody, more than enough time to know whether you want to speak to them again, whether you've got anything in common, whether you want to expand a meeting and go on to LinkedIn or have a one-to-one, or to never darken their doors again. And I have to say, the first time I did Peppercorn, I didn't know what hit me. And at the end of it, I needed a darkened room and alcohol to recover from the experience. Having said that,
I love it.
Now it's just, I just really enjoy it. I think we probably all have networking meetings that we think we ought to go to, and we don't think they're particularly enjoyable, but we need to do them. Peppercorn's the reverse. For me, it's one of the highlights of my week, because it's such fun.
Really, really good fun. So tell us what else you do for fun, because it's not just all about being on the computer and sitting in meetings, is it?
Well, I love the countryside. I'm really lucky that I'm in a rural location. I love being outdoors. I love going to the sea.
Where you are, Barbara? Where in the country are you?
I'm in Heathfield, East Sussex. So I'm 20 minutes from the south coast at Eastbourne.
Very nice.
And on a summer's evening, quite often we go down to the beach at Pevensey, and we get a kebab and we sit on the beach and we watch the world go by. And that's just lovely.
Sounds perfect.
I also love being in the garden. I grow a lot of vegetables, and I love
your rhubarb.
Oh, my rhubarb this year is bionic. I think it was all that rain. I'm keeping the neighbours supplied with rhubarb crumble. We're all going to be half a stone heavier by the end of the summer.
My favourite as well. Send them my way.
You know, I've got rhubarb sticks that I'm pulling. They're about 2 foot long.
And I saw your picture. I was just like, oh my goodness.
It's just absolutely incredible. You know, I've got rhubarb, and I've got this new salad box. I'm getting ready for old age. I'm bringing the ground up to me now, and I'm creating these vegetable boxes so that it's not so far to bend down. And I've created this new one, which is a salad box. Excuse me 1 second. I can't believe this is
real life.
Okay,
tell him to say hi. Tell him to say hello. It lets people know this is real and this is real life. This is what happens.
You know, we're incredibly lucky. Our courier people and our postmen, they just come in and they have a chat.
I love it.
Every day, which is absolutely lovely, unless you're on a live broadcast, when it's not always quite so good. But anyway, as I was saying about my wonderful salad box. So I've created this box, and I'm growing in it spinach, radishes, lettuces of several different kinds, and I've also got some roquette in it. And at the moment, I've got this battle to actually pick it quicker than it's growing, because I'm trying to keep everything young and tasty and tender. And every day I go down with my basket and I pick my salad for the day, and it's just fantastic.
Oh, absolutely. So tell us, on that note, I have to say that just makes me slightly jealous, because we're in the process of trying to do exactly that with our garden, but it's proving a bigger job than we actually anticipated. But that's another story. So what are your plans for this weekend? Because it's supposed to be glorious. A mini heat wave they're talking about, aren't they? So what are you up to?
No, they are. We're going on an adventure tomorrow. We're going over towards Guildford way, and we're going to explore that. We have to go and pick up some stuff in that direction. So we're going to have an explore of the area, which will be lovely. Nice. There's a bit of gardening going to be going on as well, because things are getting a bit rampant. Have you noticed how the weeds are growing quicker than the plants at the moment?
Tell me about it. I thought it was just my garden. I'm glad you said that.
So I think there's some serious weed pulling going to be going on at some point on Sunday. Yeah. But it's just a lovely time to be out and about, isn't it?
Absolutely gorgeous.
And the
Well,
countryside just looked gorgeous at the
I'd
moment.
like to see some of those pictures of what you get up to and what you discover in Guildford. So, Barbara, just tell people where they can find you, because you're in a number of places online, aren't you? So you've
Yes,
told
I
us
am.
about your glass. So just reiterate the name of where we can find you for glass, but then also tell us where people can find you, where else people can find you on Facebook. What do you go under?
So I go under the name of Fragments of Glass for my workshops. So I have a page on Facebook, which is Fragments of Glass. And I also have a page on Etsy, again, under the name of Fragments of Glass. So that's etsy.com/UK/shop/Fragments of Glass. And then in terms of the coaching, I go under the name of Barbara Hibbart Coaching, would you believe? And, so therefore I have my website under the same name. I'm just in the process of creating a new website, so I'll be able to launch hopefully next week if I'm lucky. So that'll be exciting. I've got one of these new point and press type ones where it's an action website rather than a static one. So barbarahibartcoaching.co.uk, and then I'm also on Facebook under Barbara Hibbart Coaching as well. I do actually have another Facebook page as well, which is my one, which is where I talk about my gardening and things like that.
So we'll put those links above this video so people can go straight to your pages and find out a little bit more about you. Barbara, it's been an absolute delight. Thank you for joining me on Coffee Time Live.
I hope you
enjoy your weekend. And for those of you who have been watching live, thank you very much. If you do have any questions or comments, please don't hold back. Please do put them in the comment box. And if you are watching on replay, please put #replay. And if you do have any questions, we will check and come back and answer them. So please don't think they won't get seen. They will. And if you have anything that you want to share with us underneath this video about what we've spoken about today, please do so. And on that note, I'm going to wish you all a lovely weekend. Enjoy the rest of your Friday, and I will see you next week for another Coffee Time Live. Bye. Bye, Barbara. Thank you.
Bye-bye.